We open the Mayor Board of Aldermen meeting for Tuesday, August the 25th. Open it up. For opening prayer, I have Pastor Mark Johnson from Fountain of Truth who will be praying. So if you're able, please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. And I'd like to ask Pastor Johnson to also pray for Miss Dembo, one of our school crossing guards at Ellendale, was in an accident today, and she's tonight. I think she's in the med. So just pray for her. Just pray for her, Pastor Johnson.
We bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we come before you today with grateful hearts for this opportunity to serve our city. We thank you for the dedication of our work, our mayor, our aldermen, and all those who serve in leadership. Tonight we ask for your wisdom and your guidance as they discuss the matters that impact our community. Grant them clarity of thought. Grant them unity of spirit. Help them to weigh decisions with wisdom, compassion, with fairness. God, I pray your blessings on each person here with courage to stand for what is right and also humility to listen to one another and heart to seek your will above all else. May this meeting be marked by respect, by cooperation, by the spirit of excellence that our city has been so blessed with. Tonight, Lord, we want to pray specifically for Melissa Dunbo, the crossing guard from Ellendale Elementary. Lord, your word says that you are the God that heals us. So, God, I claim that healing for her body right now in Jesus' name. We entrust this time to you, Lord, asking for your blessing upon our city and your blessing upon all who call this city home. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, will you read the future meetings into the record, please?
The Family Assistance Commission, scheduled for August 31st, has been canceled. Beer Board meeting, September 1st at 6 p.m. The Planning Commission meeting, scheduled for September 1st, has been canceled. Bartlett Station Commission, September 2nd at 7:30 a.m. City Beautiful Commission, September 3rd at 6:30 p.m. Industrial Development Board, September 3rd at 7 p.m.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Is any scouts present? Seeing no scouts present. Tennessee Suicide Prevention, we have a proclamation tonight. I'd ask Justin Johnson if he'd please come down along with our Assistant Chief, Chris Golden.
Hey, while they're coming down, Ms. Clerk, I think the Bartlett Station Commission's been canceled for September as well. I thought I got an email about that. Monique, did you get an email about that too? Yeah, I think it's been canceled as well, just to let you know.
That's a yes.
IDB's canceled too.
Suicide is a tremendous form of suffering and one of the most disruptive and tragic events that a family or a community can experience. And more than 12,000 lives are lost in Tennessee each year, with an estimated 25 attempt suicides for every suicide death. Suicide is the 11th leading cause of death in Tennessee and the 3rd leading cause of death among youth and young adults of ages 10 to 24 years old. Let me repeat that again. It's the 3rd leading cause among our youth from 10 to 24 years old. It's the 4th leading cause of deaths from adults 35 to 44. The 8th leading cause of death for ages 45 to 54. Those are phenomenal numbers. You can see all the way from 10 years old to 54 involves a lot of people. Understanding the risk of suicide can be reduced through awareness and education and treatment. 988 Suicide Crisis Lifeline, 988 is the Suicide Crisis Lifeline, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. It's free. It's confidential support for the people in distress, prevention, and crisis resources that you is a resource for you and your loved ones. Suicide Prevention Network Advisory Council is appointed to coordinate the implementation of the Tennessee Strategy for Suicide Prevention. The Tennessee Suicide Prevention Network is a grassroots collaboration of Tennessee organizations working to eliminate the stigma of suicide, educating our community about the warning signs of suicide, and ultimately reduce the suicide rate in our state. The TSPN encourages all Tennesseans to become trained and play a role in suicide prevention to support the quality of life. Everyone can play a role in suicide prevention by learning and sharing the risk and the warning signs, decreasing the stigma as it means to promote help seeking by talking about suicide and using safe messaging and sharing the available resources. So that's why, as mayor, we proclaim September 2026 is Suicide Prevention Month in Bartlett, Tennessee. And we encourage all of our citizens to work to prevent suicide and raise awareness and compassion around the community for all the people that are affected. I want to present this proclamation tonight, and Chief Golden, do you want to say anything first? We turn it over to our chief. Here we go.
Hey, we're so thankful for our partnership with this group of having experienced fellow employees and coworkers that have gone through this type of situation. It's vital to our department to put suicide prevention at the front, and for the city to help this organization because they're doing great things in our community.
This is going to be a little bit personal. So as I've been doing this job for 7 years and looking at outreach and trying to get present in communities, a lot of what I did was reach out to different chambers. And I could tell you probably maybe 5 years ago, I started coming to the Bartlett chamber. And when you have on your table skirt, it talks about suicide. I tell you, the most draining day and rewarding day that I had was coming out here to the Bartlett Chamber, because so many people sadly have been impacted by suicide in this community. So it means so much as, you know, municipal leaders and the mayor to proclaim and say, hey, suicide, or September is Suicide Prevention Month, and we want to try to equip you to prevent the most preventable kind of death that we believe is suicide. So that might take just, you know, recognizing something that's off about somebody, you know, saying a kind word, or just being compassionate to an individual that might be suffering. So hopefully they won't make that final decision to take their own life. So thank you all for being a part of this. It really means a lot.
Take just a second to talk about 988.
Yeah, so a couple years ago, there used to be a 10-digit number that nobody could remember. It's 1-800-275-8275, I think, because only I could remember it because I had to say it 1,000 times. And so we realized that. So a lot like when 911 was developed, it's a easy number, 988. You can call, text, or chat. It's operated 24/7. So if you're locally here and you dial 988, it'll go to the Memphis Crisis Center off Pauline. If they're busy, they'll redirect you to any of the call centers across the United States. And one of the beneficial things of 988, we get a lot of people that aren't bogging down 911 with, they can have a mental health provider on the other end to talk somebody through a crisis. So what 988 does, it helps prevent suicides, but it doesn't weigh y'all guys down with the police department on something that may not be an emergency, or police and fire.
Thank you. So when suicide crisis come, what number do we call? 988. Thank you. Todd, can we get picture here? Thank you. Thank you. We now move to the official business of the day. You have in your packets the minutes from the August the 11th Board of Mayor regular Alderman meeting. If there's no omissions, corrections, or errors, the chair would entertain a motion to approve.
Move we approve.
Properly motioned by Alderman Griffith and second by Alderman King. Madam Clerk.
it's not showing, but it passed with one abstain.
Thank you. Minutes have passed, 5-1. We now move to unfinished business. Madam Clerk, will you read item 1 under unfinished business?
Second reading of ordinance 26-10, an ordinance amending Title 12, Chapter 6, Energy Conservation Code, and 11, Residential Code, Section 12-601, Energy Conservation Code adopted, and 12-1101, International Residential Code adopted, of the codified ordinances of the City of Bartlett, Tennessee, for the purpose of statutory compliance. The public hearing is set for September 8th, 2026.
Move we approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk. Mr. Arthur, you did a good job. Second reading of ordinance 26-10 passes 6-0. We now move to consent agenda. We have 3 items. Any board member may remove any item for separate discussion if they wish. Does any board member wish to remove any item for single discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, will you read the 3 items into the record, please?
Item 1, special event permit for St. Anne Multicultural Festival. Item 2, bid for uniforms, clothing, accessories, and equipment. Item 3, bid for annual traffic signal maintenance and concrete replacement.
Been a motion made by Alderman Reeves and second by Alderman Griffin. Madam Clerk. The 3 items on the consent agenda passes unanimous. We now move to new business. Madam Clerk, will you read item 1 under new business?
Bids for annual paving operations.
I'd like to ask our city engineer, Mr. John Horn, to come forward at this time.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. I want to give you a presentation tonight on our FY27 paving program. I think I've got a slideshow to go along to give you an update on this. So we have recently received proposals for our FY27 paving program. This is going to be for milling paving and for pavement preservation. So on the next slide, I've got 3 recommendations for the information that you were supplied in your packet. The first one is regarding our general paving master service agreement, and we are recommending selecting Lehman Roberts and Pollen Paving for the general paving master service agreement. So this is going to be for the traditional milling, paving, patching program. And in just a moment, I'll get into the areas that we're recommending to do paving on. Both of these companies have done work for us before. Lehman Roberts has done a substantial amount of paving for us in years. Pollen Paving has been doing more work in the last several years. The second recommendation is for our pavement preservation master service agreement, and that is recommending PRI Incorporated for the pavement preservation. And so these are the pavement preservation products that we have been implementing in the last 3 years, like the fog chip seal that we put on Memphis Arlington, that we put on Brunswick, Germantown Road, and Old Brownsville Road, that here recently we have put along Memphis Arlington and Appling and along Oak Road. We've also done some other products, not necessarily getting into those, so we would like to recommend selecting PRI for that second MSA. The third recommendation is me getting a little bit ahead of myself because that's the next item on the agenda, and that's for Pavement Management Group. As you're aware, the administration the last 3 years gave us permission, and the board did, to use PMG. PMG is the group that has been utilized by a number of municipalities where they go out and they basically scan our entire road service citywide, and that's done a number of things for us. It gives us a map that gives us the pavement condition index for every single road in Bartlett. It's a score from 0 to 100, and that we've been able to map this and been able to utilize this in making the determination for which roads should we pave next. And so looking at that. And so the contract that we've utilized is expired. The contract allows us to do another 3-year extension. It's at the same price. And so that data that we've been using is now 3 years old, and we want to do it again to get revised, updated data. So that's my third recommendation, is for us to select PMG. Now kind of circling back, you're probably curious as to which roads that we're recommended paving. And so this next slide has those recommendations. And so this is for the upcoming paving program using Lehman Roberts or Pollen Paving to do traditional milling, paving, patching. And so we're recommending these 3 areas. The first area is Wolf Chase Farms subdivision. So specifically, if you head north on Germantown Road from Highway 70, and you get to Old Brownsville Road, you make a left onto Old Brownsville Road over the railroad tracks. This is the area just north of there on the right, just a little bit west of Delaney Square in that area. The other area is Hickory Creek subdivision. So again, if you're heading northbound on Germantown Road, as you get across Highway 70, the first left is Westbrook. Make a left onto Westbrook. Hickory Creek is the subdivision over there to the right. And then the final area is Appling Road North. You may recall we widened Appling Road about 7 years ago from Brother Boulevard to Southern Way. So that section is 6 or 7 years old, but the section from Southern Way to Highway 70 is in bad shape. And so that's a consensus to replace, to mill, patch, pave those 3 areas. And the subtotal for those areas is approximately a little over $3.1 million. We use the fixed index price that's in the master service agreement, so that's the high price that we've utilized there. And so is there a possibility we could get a better price with the index? That's a possibility, but we went ahead and put these numbers for, this is the high number for that. And so if I move on to the next slide, I did want to include this because we're on the verge of utilizing some TDOT funding. And so for the last 5 years, we have been working on getting TDOT funding to pave Brunswick Road, Elmore, and Elmore Park Road. And TDOT has released us to bid that project. And so that is a total of $4.4 million. TDOT matches $3.5 million. The Bartlett matches approximately $866,000. Now that hasn't been bid yet. And so the goal would be, we will bid that out in the next month or so. We're moving quickly to try to get that bid. Once we get those bids back in, I'll bring those back to this board for approval, and we can get started on that. We can't get that done. We can't get the TDOT work done by the end of the year. It's probably going to take us into the spring to do that. So when you totalize both of those on this next slide, that gives us for FY27, that's $7.5 million, over $7.5 million in paving in the city of Bartlett. Our portion of that on the left is a little over $4 million. TDOT matching funds are $3.5 million with that. And so last slide that I've got is, so what's the schedule? What's our game plan for the remainder of FY27? What we want to do is we want to pull the trigger on getting this PMG data back to us, revised data. And what we want to do is we should get that data back by December. We want to utilize that for being able to determine what our future paving strategy is for the remainder of FY27. Looks like I'm out of time, and so, and then once we get that data back, we will present that to the administration and then present that to you for the remainder of the FY27 contingent on funds.
Hey, John, would you just take a minute and make sure they understand that exactly what is in what we're proposing in that $3.5 million? There's no chip fog or no preventive in that. the original number.
Yes, sir. All of the prices that I have proposed, all of these are for what we call traditional patching, milling, and paving. None of the dollars that I'm recommending for us to spend, at least at this point, include the preservation products. Once we get the data back by the end of the year from PMG, then we may choose, if there's dollars available, possibly to do that. But we're going to wait and see what that data tells us.
And also explain to them that the majority of the roads that qualify for chip and fog sealed and MAS in that preventive stuff, we've covered the majority of those roads that needed chip seal on those. There's still roads left to do, but we made a big chunk out of those.
That's correct. The fog chip is only being recommended primarily for what we call rural roads, roads without curb and gutter, sidewalk. So do we still have a number of roads left in Bartlett that are like that? But we're just going to analyze those based on this PMG data in the future.
Any comments so that we can go to comments?
Yeah.
Anyone wish to make a motion to get this on the floor? We have a motion from Alderman Quinn,
Second.
second from Alderman Reeves. We'll open the floor for comments now. Alderman Reeves?
I do have some questions, if we could. What's the reason why we don't wait for the PMG road assessment to come back to dictate the projects that are not associated with TDOT? So we're choosing Wolf Chase Farms, we're choosing Appling North. Is it, and the study's 3 years old, right? That we've got today. So why wouldn't we wait for that to come back before we made a decision on the very first projects?
Mr. Horn, can you explain that to him?
Yes, sir. So we do feel like that data is 3 years old, and so that data has a shelf life, and we feel like it's time to draw a line in the sand and get more data. And we have been very impressed with the data that PMG gives us. We've looked at alternative programs,
Yeah.
and are not as impressed with it as PMG, and it's been very reliable. Effective
I agree.
for us.
I agree with you. But my thought is, why are we not going to base the paving on the new PMG report?
So the majority of those roads that were in those subdivisions there was failing on the last report.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, if I could just add one piece to that. So the roads that we're talking about continuing in this fall paving plan
Yeah.
were laid out in that program that PMG recommended. So there's still roads that we're not touching, but those roads in particular, especially those in the two neighborhoods that he mentioned, like I'm sure you probably yield them as well. We get a ton of complaints on them, and they're just deteriorating worse. So the ambition was to try to get that fall group done and then figure out where we want it. We know the TDOT project's going to come forth in the spring,
Yeah.
and see what your strategy is based on the updated PMG.
I don't have a problem with the TDOT because we're getting a match. My thought is that we're going to have to go out and justify why we choose what. Like, we got to justify our vote because there's a lot of people from different subdivisions who contact us on a regular basis, particularly me. The rest of you may be this way. Everybody's road is terrible, right? Although the definition of terrible depends on the person looking at the road, I think, right? I've had this conversation with my stepdad. We argued about it, Oak Forest, which I don't know the last time that was paved. We literally argued about the definition of what a bad road is. This is an argument in our own families. To talk about what's going on in the broader community, I'm just saying that, is there a way to where we can at least, we don't have like a comprehensive map to show the community of this is how different roads grade out. So, it would be nice to be able to present in a more comprehensive manner how the roads are actually grading out. That way we can say, well, we chose these because these graded the worst. And this is where yours grades out.
Just to kind of circle back with what the mayor and Steve said, I guess another way to say it is these subdivisions were already queued up. And we knew that these subdivisions needed to be paved, and so that was already an understanding. But the comprehensive map, I guess, we've got that, and we have presented the comprehensive.
Now, I don't know how we present it to the public. it gets presented here where there's like 30 people, but when the public wants to really
I mean, it
engage.
was on our website as a banner after PMG originally went through, which we can easily put it back up. But I mean, all these roads are rated as poor by PMG, the people that do them, right? And that rate's about 5% according, like total MSA roads that would be rated at that poor rating. So all these are rated as poor. We can easily produce something to show that map again. It's going to list you the roads that are poor. It's arbitrary in which you want to decide to pave. It's because we're not going to be able to hit all of them.
It's fine. I'm just saying that the question is going to come, why are you not waiting for the new report to decide on the roads? That's the first thing that's going to come up, okay? And then the second thing is, I have no idea how bad my road is. My road's terrible. Why are you choosing that road over my road? That's the other question we're going to have to answer. So that's more an issue that we have to deal with, per se. I don't know the best way to address it other than, you know, these are the worst roads, but okay, I don't know how we make it more consumable for the public to where it makes sense that it's being graded out and there's a consistent way and a methodology for it, because everybody thinks that their road is the worst road.
David, I'll just say this, that what we have done in the last 3 years, we took arbitrary out of it, because we had a grade system of 1 through 5. 5 being failing. Now it's 1 through 100. And so every road has a rating on 1 through 100 to it. And so we've got an analysis now how you determine the poor roads, which poor roads are failing, you can't do them all, how you do others than that. I depend on, the grading will help do that, because it's not just arbitrary. And I understand in this past 3 years, one of the reports is that where we had a process, we were just doing we waited till the roads failed, and then we did them, and that's why we're trying to spread that to try to get back to that. But you have a very good question, and we can put that same map back up that we put back up.
I just don't know the best way to do it,
Well,
because
let me ask John this. John, if we already graded, you have that map. Is that map not converted to a list starting with 100 and that grade out, and every road comes down there, so anybody could look on that content and see my road's here and it's a 67. This road here is a 87. So you pick this road and you have that in order, correct? Is that available?
We do have that. That's the good thing about this data that gives us a numerical score.
But isn't that what you would want? So is it on the website that
I
way?
think that's currently on the
I think we had them
website.
color-coded, didn't we?
I'm sorry, what?
I thought that was color-coded on the map.
It is.
It is, but every road has a number, correct?
Yes.
So every road, and so you've got, it's 300 roads. So there's 300 there, there's 300 scores. Some of them could be tied, some of them could be 10 tied for the same number. But on that way, David, you could see, here's the list, you know.
I agree. I don't want to be obtuse about this. I want there to be a way for us to give it to the public and say, go look at this.
Yeah.
This is your road. This is how it grades out. And this is the reason why we're choosing these other roads.
Yeah, and we're not grading it by public eye, you're grading it through that computer system. So it's not somebody's opinion, it's data
Correct, yeah.
coming up. So
In pavement,
I've told people, I said, look, I can find out what your road is and where you list, and that helps them.
And then even that, Brad, it could be arbitrary. They could argue on that data's wrong. So there's really no win to it. You could argue that, and my street's worse than their street,
Yeah.
what you did is wrong.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's not us doing the grading anymore.
Right.
It's a third party that does that all the time, that's grading it. So all we can do is depend on that third party's data to be correct, that we're paying a professional to rate them and the reasons why.
Yeah.
Kevin, did you?
Yeah, did y'all finish? I mean, I didn't interrupt since you had a flow going there. Yeah, no, I mean, I totally understand what you're talking about. I know we all do it. We all drive around town when people come out. I've come out because people said there's grass in the cracks in the road. The road's not in bad shape. It just has cracks. The grass is growing in because there's not a lot of traffic on it. It's a dead-end cove. So it is very arbitrary, but we've all driven around streets here that look like quilts, or we're getting knocked out of alignment, going around. And I agree, we need to be able to explain to people what the definition of bad is. And I think PMG, this program is really good. Even though the data is 3 years old, it's good to have it refreshed, but I don't think any of the poor roads have gotten any better on their own from all the rain or anything. So I think it's good to have a refresh, but it would be nice to have that released where people can go down a list, somewhere and go, hey, that's my street. And I can see, because it's kind of really hard for most people to argue with some kind of AI analysis with the video and the grading and everything like that. I mean, you really, I personally can't. I don't think you can beat that. But that really wasn't my question. But I do agree we should do that. I just, for 6 budgets, we've been looking at the Elmore Park Road and Elmore Park, but it always said Old Brownsville on it, and it's had a much higher number. Did we have some kind of cost savings? Because originally our part was $1.5 million, our share of that. Is this for 2029? That was the original. It's been pushed out.
For Elmore Park,
Yeah, Elmore Park, Elmore Road, and Old Brownsville. So
it may have. I know it has increased because we have been working on this TDOT project for over 6 years.
yeah.
And so I don't recall what the original cost estimate was, but I've mentioned to everybody's heard me whine that TDOT projects take 5 to 6 years for us to utilize, and that's how long we've been working on that project, just to get it ready to go to bid.
Oh, yeah. I remember when I was first elected, you and I talked about it, and it was already 2 years, it was already 2 years out then, and this has been kicked down. I think the last budget we voted on, it was 2029, and it was much more expensive, so that's why. But I'm not Brunswick wasn't on there, though. It was just, it had Old Brunswick.
Brunswick, Elmore, and Elmore Park have always been together as a
Yeah.
part of this TDOT.
Okay, thank you.
If you can, those two, I'm fixing to recognize Jack, but the Old Brownsville Road project, we waited 18 to 20 years to get, and hopefully that's one of the things we've been doing at the legislature, is trying to find those roadblocks to shorten that window of time. And then there again, depends on the state budget, how much they fund. But Alderman Young, you recognized.
I just like to get a little clarification on when we chip, fog, and seal, and when we mill and asphalt, because I'm being questioned why this road is done this way. I understood it's cheaper to chip, fog, and seal, saves us city money. If that's the case, why are we not doing any of that in this year's budget? And I'm sure there's a logical reason, but I'd like to just hear it.
So PMG does recommend certain roads of certain age to do what would be called preservation, which is not a replacement for milling, patching, and paving. So the roads that we're recommending doing would not fit in the category of fog chip sealing them. They have a lower pavement condition index. And so the roads that are recommended to use fog chip are ones that are not as far gone as the ones that we're milling, patching, and paving.
Okay.
Now, we could still choose to mill, patch, and pave some of those, but the recommendation is you don't have to spend that much money to preserve them. It doesn't mean it's necessarily a replacement, but it's an option to preserve them. Another pavement preservation would be one called HA5, Jack, which we did over in Hunter's Walk. We paved Hunter's Walk about 7 or 8 years ago. And so it was still in good shape, and it was recommended to use that product as a coating to preserve the pavement to where it wouldn't dry out. It's almost like a concrete seal on it. And so we've been utilizing that. The fog and chip that we've put down is it doesn't have the life expectancy of patching, milling, and paving.
Okay.
But is one that's recommended that will buy us more time. It's preserving what we've got.
Okay, thank you.
A lot of that, Jack, is on fair roads.
Yeah.
And then you'll probably see coming up forward, we're fixing to spend $3.1 million. At some point, we're gonna put that HA5 on there to give us another 25% extended life on that too.
Okay.
So that preservation was taking care of some new roads to get more longevity, some fair roads to make them better, and then a percentage was failed roads. So any other questions from the Alderman
So,
King?
John, you could prepare that list for us? Is that reasonable?
The list that shows all the numerical values of the pavement condition for all the roads in the city?
Yeah, where it's graded, not out, the roads are not out, but they're way they're graded.
Yes, we've got, I don't know that we've got yes, we could prepare that.
Brad, I think what we can easily do is we can take all the failed roads and show them,
Okay.
all the fair roads and show them. And I think we could show all of the good, fair, poor, there's about 4 different gradings, and have them color-coded. My concern is if you start showing the gradings, they're all fall in a range of this. And I think it would be good to say that all the failed roads are from a 0 to a 70.
Yeah,
And just like we did in school, and show them that there's roads right there.
okay,
Because you're gonna get in an argument if I'm a 66 and you're a 67.
right.
And he's a 66 and a half, who we do, you know?
And David lives on the 67 road, and it got paid, and I lived on the 87 road, and it didn't.
Yes.
Roads are a no-win situation.
They are the Kobayashi Maru of city government,
But,
if you know what that is. No.
But we could put out all those failed roads, and we have the color chart of that, I know. That's what we actually put out, I think.
That's right. Yeah.
Any other questions for our city engineer?
Good job.
Thank you, Mr. Horn. Is there any more discussion? Hearing no more discussion, would entertain a motion?
So move. We already did that.
Did we? All right, that's right.
Let's vote on it.
How about entertain a roll call then?
We just did.
Here we go. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Item number 2.
Contract renewal for pavement assessment and management services.
Very briefly, this is, John, we'll give an explanation.
Can I be like Trey and just not have to say anything?
Move we approve.
Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, Madam Clerk. It also passes unanimous. We now move to open discussion. Any discussion from the board? Anything you'd like to say? Seeing no one desire to be recognized, any directors?
Good evening, everyone. This is a Bartlett Live week. Now, I want to let you know that every year when we do Bartlett Live, I get dozens and dozens and dozens of bands that want to play Bartlett Live. Some of them are great. Some of them, not so much. I get a lot of country bands. I get a lot of 80s, 70s. We even had the 90s band. Alderman King's favorite band, Your Mom's New Boyfriend, played last year, and they're actually playing the Fall Festival this year. But I came across a band called Business Casual, and they're doing something that nobody else is doing. They're doing the 2000s. So they are doing 2000s pop rock covers. They're the only band I can find that's doing them. So I went downtown. Yes, I left Bartlett. It happens on occasion. And saw them play, and they were amazing. They had the crowd jumping, dancing all night long. Their set list was terrific. They're a bunch of really good guys. I think that we are really going to enjoy them out here. I liked them so much I booked them that night. So this Saturday night, Business Casual at Bartlett Live, late 90s, early 2000s pop rock covers. Music starts at 7. We'll be done by 9. Food trucks open at 6 o'clock at Freeman Park. So I am calling all of our young Gen Xers, not you, Alderman King, and elder millennials to come out and join us Saturday night at Freeman Park, Bartlett Live, Business Casual. Thank you.
Thank you.
Todd, you want to tell them about our sponsors for the Bartlett Festival since you brought that one up?
Absolutely. Well, we've got a couple of sponsors for Bartlett Festival. So we will have Bruce Key and Your Mom's New Boyfriend, Alderman King will be there, on Friday night at the Pinnacle Main Stage. The festival is also being brought to us for the first time by Bumpus Harley Davidson. And they're going to bring a bunch of bikes out. We're going to check them out. Hey, like I said, if you want to buy one, great. Your mom said it's fine. And I support your decision. Come on out. And the barbecue contest is going to be sponsored by Fast Turn Aviation. So if you've got a plane, man, I got the guy to hook you up with. But it's going to be a blast. October 2nd and 3rd, we're going to be out there all weekend. Car shows, what else? Tons of vendors, tons of food. What else am I missing? Oh, and the Panther Pride Judge Freeman Moore 5K will be happening too. I put all the links to those on the City of Bartlett Facebook page. So if you got any questions, just shoot me a message. All right.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, have we received any open discussion forums? We need
Yes,
to-
sir.
With no open discussion forums, that concludes the business for this Mayor Board of Aldermen meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn? Motion. Seconded? Meeting adjourned.